We're in a campground in Texas now. Just give you a little bit of look around. Here's the truck and the camper. Nice concrete pad. The one next to us is empty. There's the border wall where that fell away. As you can see, it's a pretty nice spot. Get the Starlink up so it gets some reception. Otherwise, you cannot. Some rocking chairs out here. Daughter got us. I got a hammock to get out at some point. There's the Hemingway bike. Keep it locked up. I'm not afraid of people in the campground, but somebody may come in late at night. Pickleball courts. Didn't need to be here for that. And we're in circles. There's 5 circles, maybe. I think 5. And along the edges, and there's huts, houses in between, little casitas, I think they call them. You can rent. But the Hemingway is doing me a good job. I rode it over to the neighboring park today to play some cards. Pretty nice. You can have it just help you pedal, or you can have it do all the work, whichever you want. Your person needs a little exercise, so probably better just have it help. So this is where we're staying for a little bit. Pretty nice. It's really warm today. The thermometer says 98, but I really doubt it's that warm.
Chilly this morning. Got a little ice in the river starting. Got trucks running. Got Jay in the shop working on his truck, and I'm gonna head over the track while the ground's frozen. There she is. Can't say I like it when it's cold. It's nice to be able to drive wherever you want to, because it was muddy. Now it's froze. Now, as long as the old girl starts. I'm really glad I cleaned out those tracks before it froze, because it wouldn't have moved if it's full of mud then froze. Ether it is, I guess. Nothing new to report here. Another day mowing trees. It's a little warmer. It's in the teens. Traco's still running well, and this Blue Diamond mower is still awesome. Eats the trees and does it quick like. We're crossing the Ohio River going into Owensboro, Kentucky this morning.
In a vacuum, which is going to be helpful. I know you look at the soybean market and it's acting poorly. It's not acting.
Made the hour and 20-minute drive down to Owensboro, Kentucky this morning. So their big convention center here. Was here 2 years ago to Precision Planning's remote location winter conference, and gonna do it again this year.
You're all set, Reese.
All right, checked in.
Thank you.
5 improved agronomic outcomes across Europe.
All right, we got a long line going for lunch now. We had a big morning with covering everything from planters to sprayers. I'm here with Josh Stoller, who's the regional manager, right?
Yep, Southern Illinois. Yep, so I work with dealers and customers in Southern Illinois, and yeah, spent time just learning.
You're kind of spearheading this this area, right?
Yep.
This remote location in
Yeah, we're in Owensboro, Kentucky. Wednesday, a winter conference week, so we had one day in Tremont, and then we're streaming from Tremont now. Today we've got a couple videos, and then a session here in Owensboro, and then the next 2 days in Tremont again. So
what big advantages do you think winter conference has for farmers? Why do you think they should attend?
yeah, well, I think one of the big things that we've always done, so a couple of us that are here have been here for 15 years at Precision, and one of the things we've always done is just focus on teaching, right? So actually today, as we've got farmers, a lot of different guys in, we actually can get CCA credits, there's Certified Crop Advisor credits, just because it's all agronomy, right? And so as we look, like now with the different passes here, as we've gotten kind of planting, I don't know if you'd say specific or kind of upgraded and kind of every little detail nailed down, and we start looking at different passes, there's actually a lot of improvement across the farm, not just in the technology, but understanding like what's going on. We spent a decent amount of time on sprayers this year, just on droplet size, coverage, pattern, stuff like that, how we can control that better, and how big of a deal that makes. Has been really interesting learning some of those things. So
we got Reclaim this year, and I liked it. I liked Reclaim.
Yeah.
I use it quite a bit. There's a couple other guys, they didn't like pressing the button though, so I didn't always get used.
Yeah.
But like, of course, when you think precision planting, sprayer technology has come a long ways with Symphony or Reclaim. But when I think precision planting, I always think planting, of course. So you kind of want to go over that a little bit.
Yeah, actually this year we just announced now this week what we call a CornerStone planting system. So the intention here is we basically built a planting system, or what looked like a row unit from the ground up. We started with metering and some of the specific technology on a row unit, and we thought we've always been kind of adapting to and fitting in to different systems. What if we built everything around it together? The engineers that are building this and this and this, making everything purpose-built and fit together, plus adding a couple extra things that we've never had before. So, I mean, obviously, metering, high speed with speed tube, hydraulic downforce with delta force, those are all things that we've had, and the value here will be the same, but then we add a couple different adjustments. For instance, closing wheels. As I'm planting, and say if I get misaligned, come around a field or corner or hit something or whatever, and I get my closing wheel off, and now I'm not closing it right, or maybe one of the wheels right in the trench. How do we adjust those? Those are different. We just put a cam in here. Now we can just quick adjust, get that thing dialed back in.
The easier it is to adjust, the more likely you're going to adjust.
That's right. You keep it dialed in. So there's just a lot of little things that we put in this. One of the big things is the hopper itself.
Oh yeah, I was impressed with that.
Hoppers,
Talk about that.
This one here's a mini hopper. So you would have a center fill coming in the mini hopper. But if I had a full-size hopper, or even a 3-bushel hopper, the big heavy ones, anytime that we typically have a problem, it's right after I filled it up.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So typically you're unlatching back here and you're trying to pull it up and get things moved around, and there's just a lot of weight, especially if you're narrow rows, 20-inch rows, even 30s against a wheel. You don't have room. There's a lot of weight. So we made this one, it's just an arm that you pull up and it unlatches from the front and the hopper tips back. So now we can actually tip that back. If it's full of seed, we've got a slide gate in the hopper. So we slide the gate closed, tip it back, and you can actually just take the meter off without ever taking the hopper off.
Yeah, I was impressed with that.
Yeah,
that's nice.
It makes a lot of those things. If you're trying to say, well, just, if we're talking to someone on the phone trying to figure out what's going on, you say, well, all you got to do is just switch the meter. And it's like, wait a second, that's a lot easier said than done.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to do some of those simple things that everybody thinks it, but no one's ever made it.
Yeah.
So we're just doing some of those things, making some of those, and just built all together. And if I've got a planter that, say, rows or things are getting shot or wore out, now I can keep the bar, which is probably still good in most cases,
yeah,
and add this planting system to it, and I get it set up just exactly how I want it, how my system is, and it's tailored exactly to my needs. Am I doing 2 liquids, 1 in furrow, 1 through conceal? You set it up that way. Am I doing no fertilizer at all? Because I don't have anybody to bring me liquid or tender me. don't set it up with it. And we just get it tailored exactly to that need, and then, you know, kind of build it customized.
A lot of options.
From a factory type of option, just to fit those needs. So that's a CornerStone planting system. That's just new this year.
We have the furrow force on some of ours.
Yep.
We have the conceal, have the speed belt and all that. It all looks great. Like, have the delta force like that.
Yep.
What do you guys call the trash wheels?
Reveal.
The
Okay,
reveal.
so actually,
I like the looks of that. We don't have that, but I think that's a good idea.
When we were looking at initially with shock on the row unit, what's our point of the row unit? We want to get that thing riding smooth through the field, reducing row unit ride, right? So getting it smooth in the field. If I've got a row cleaner mounted off the front and I got my arm here and I'm bouncing up and down, if I hit a clod or a rock or a divot or something like that, the shock goes just immediately straight into the row unit. So when we were designing a row cleaner from the ground up, we said, what's the first thing we want to do? Get it off the row unit. Now we're mounted to the bar and to the frame up here, that any shocking goes to the bar and not my row unit, where all the magic is happening. But put it up on the row unit, and these arms are now back swept. So the floating is much more consistent as I'm coming back here and kind of shocking back with two rear trailing parallel arms. And then the third thing is, you notice this wheel in between. You're like, what in the world's that wheel? We said, if we're gonna gauge and clean, what do I want to be gauged off of? Typically, we've got the treader wheels up front, and you're just gauged off of the length of the tine over the treader. But now with this, we can actually adjust this wheel. If I want to get more aggressive and get these deeper, I can adjust this wheel up.
Okay.
And it lets these tines get deeper and more aggressive. But if I'm running into something, say a lighter, fluffier strip till or conventional tillage, I can actually put this wheel down and just get these guys tickling the top, kind of smoothing off and getting almost like a runway for the row unit.
Do you have to go back there and do that, or is that
if I was going to make an adjustment, there's an adjustment handle here.
Okay.
That I would adjust that wheel. But once I get that set, typically you're just adjusting air pressure then after that.
I think they would have got us a real one of these, wouldn't you?
Yeah, yeah. No, believe me, I wish we had 24 of them.
Yeah.
You know, but the same concept though. You look at the ride on these. We did the same thing with the gauge wheels on here. When we talk purpose built, if we had a gauge wheel arm like this, the shock load is actually, you wouldn't think it's that much of a difference, but the shock load of a forward versus a trailer,
Oh yeah.
you know, the ride is just that much more consistent. All of a sudden, now we can start just keeping everything dialed in and smooth.
I can attest to that gauge wheel too, because we bounce back and forth between deer and case.
Yeah.
And deer pushes and case pulls. And
Yep.
I like not only the performance of the pull, but also there's not a greaser that you have to grease
That's
all
right.
the time, like on deer.
Yep.
So what else you got over here
Yeah.
for us?
So this one, when we talk about different passes, this one here would still be on the planter pass. This would be our smart firmer. So this would mount up underneath there. And when we start looking at, again, some of the information that we're seeing and getting, typically when we're adding these, it's not on every single row. A lot of times I would put one every 4 rows. And then I'm going to
that's a
start
good
seeing
idea.
and dialing in to moisture. Why would you want to know moisture? Because I'm choosing what depth am I planting. A lot of times you're either planting, what was the setting I had last year? Well, maybe at 4 and 4, 4 and 5.
And
Keep the same setting.
Well,
This
I
is gonna
like
tell me, yeah, am I in moisture or not?
I like that because like we have some fields that we're like I'll have clay on the bump and I can go 1.5 inches there.
Yep.
Then we have muck at the bottom and I need to be 2.5 inches.
Yep.
It'd be just so handy to have that can read it and do it on its own.
Well, so this one here is what feeds into it doing its on
Yeah.
its own. So like if we have the smart depth here that's automatically changing depth. This one here though, I mean, like you said, if I see that I'm too dry, or typically we want to stay above 30% moisture.
Okay.
As this is reading back. So if I see that I am getting kind of in the 28, 26% moisture, what's my risk? You don't have moisture to germinate the seed.
Right.
Okay, so you're gonna get maybe 80% of them firing off, and then it gets dry, you get a rain, then the other 20% come up, and all of a sudden we're like, well, that's where our stand inconsistencies come from.
Yeah.
So if I knew that I was in 80% decent moisture, or I'm gonna get 80% stand germination, I should go deeper, maybe even just a 1/4 inch.
Yeah.
And I could go
That
from
makes a big
28 to
difference.
35% moisture. Now every single one of them is going to germinate. Now I know. I've never had that before.
Yeah, I'm just guessing because I don't have one.
Yeah.
I don't have one of those.
Yeah. Oh, they are nice. So there's 2 things on our farm, 2 things that we're watching in spring. The moisture is a big one.
Yeah.
If I got plenty of moisture, what's the next thing? This is going to show me what we call clean furrow.
Oh,
So
yeah.
when you look at the row cleaner here, say if I miss some, where's it get? Jammed in here, and then this will see kind of a bright flash. It says, hey, there's a piece of residue here. It shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Right? So now I can see right on the monitor, I went from 95% clean, and I'm 88% clean, 86% clean. Well, what's happening? Maybe I need to put more pressure on there and actually get it cleaned out. So now I know, is it clean, is it not clean? Why does that matter? If I get residue next to the seed, what's gonna get the moisture first? The residue.
Right.
My seed ain't gonna germinate right. It all comes back to the consistent germination and trying to get those at least within a 12-hour window of each other.
And what else you got there, the Symphony?
Yeah, the Symphony nozzle. So this one is where we're starting to look and control sprayers a little bit more. Typically now on sprayers, as I'm speeding up and slowing down, my pressure's changing. I'm getting the rate right, but the pressure is changing with a regular sprayer now. So as the pressure, say if I go up to 80 PSI on the sprayer, what happens to the droplet size? It gets real fine, and then I get drift.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? If I go slower, say I'm going 8 mile an hour, get down to say 30 PSI when I'm targeting 50, now my droplet size gets too coarse, and I don't have the coverage that I need on the weed, and I get weed escapes. So now what a Symphony nozzle is gonna do is, this is automatically gonna control independently rate and pressure. So I'm always getting the right rate, which I'm doing now, but more importantly, I'm getting the right pressure. So now my droplet size is always right. And I'll get the coverage that I need. I can do variable rate. I can as I'm coming around turn compensation, it'll speed up on the outside, slow down on the inside. I'm not over covering and under covering. And then swath control as well. Nozzle by nozzle swath control and rate compensation through waterways. As I come up to where I've already been, you will have chemical savings and just ease of use of going through them waterways.
Better coverage, better pressure, easier to use, and waste less product. What more you want?
That's the goal. And just add more visibility. Then this is going to be a system that we'll continue to add on. As we look at cameras and the things that we can do with cameras, scouting, stand counts, weed pressure, see what's there. You know, those are all systems that's going to add on to this on the sprayer and just basically make us better. You know, we'll get better, we'll learn more, and we'll just keep evolving.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, you bet.
What's your guys' name? Milo and you. What's your name?
And Nate.
Nate. You guys liking the precision planting?
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you just tell me? You learn anything?
No.
No. Why not?
I don't know. Because we're just kids.
No, because you're just kids, right? Where are you guys from?
We're from Kentucky.
Ah, Kentucky boys, huh? Well, have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Here with Bill Weiler. He's from Claremont, Illinois, which is right next to me. He row crop farmer, dairy farmer. You can actually follow his dairy farm operation through his daughter through This Farmer's Life on Instagram or Facebook. Why'd you come to the winter conference?
I just wanted to learn more about what precision planting had to offer. I've been running one of Case IH planters set up with precision planting for the last couple of years, and I just wanted to kind of see what else I could learn today.
Are you pretty satisfied with it?
Absolutely, absolutely. Big improvement over the older technology we've been using, and has a tendency to show you a lot of things that you're doing wrong. The frustrating part of that is you can't always fix everything.
That's for sure. That's for sure. What about winter conference? Do you think they gave us information that's useful? You think you know more now than when you came, or?
A lot of review, just you know, the old story about the more times you hear something, the more it sticks, and so that's kind of the way it's going for me.
See, that was quick and painless.
3-20-20, he added V drives, electric drives, in our meters to his 1770 planter, 24 rows. And
Winter conference over. I have to say, I enjoyed it. third year I went to this. There's always a lot of good stuff. I think if you think about using precision planting, or you currently do, and you kind of want to refresh over everything and things to look for when you're planting in your seed trench or whatnot, this is a good thing to come check out. A lot of good information, kind of give you an overview and a development and how it all came about. Went over all the planter components and their benefits. Also went over different things they have for the sprayer, where it's reclaimed to help you clean out. Talk about different tips and droplet size, the importance of that, and Symphony, which is their new pulsing spray tips. Then they went on and talked about different ways to ban fertilizers, different products they have for that, for liquid, which would be FurlJet or Conceal, and or a row by row meter system that they have for dry, which they call Clarity. Just very educational and good to see what products they have and what new products they have coming, and worth the trip. So if you think about it next year, I recommend going at least once.
Well, good morning, YouTube. We are at Green Plains down here in Indiana. Look at that sunrise. Well, we are hauling corn today for the first part, then maybe move over to beans to see how everybody's going with the cold. Last couple of days it's been not moving very well.
And the Wabash looks a little chilly this morning. A little chilly indeed.
Well, we made it down to Newburgh and we are up and running again. So beans the rest of the day, rest of the week.
Back running the Traco today. Definitely warmer out. It's like 30 degrees, 35, something like that. But that's going to be it for this video. Mostly just wanted to focus on precision planting, winter confidence, and some of their technologies they have. So, need something new for your sprayer or planter, check them out. See you next week.
Well, I'm here in extreme South Texas on my Hemingway bike in the campground, as you can see. Where's handy? Right around here. You see a lot of electric bikes here, but I haven't seen any look like it's built as good as this one. They all look more flimsy, I guess. Best word I can think of. Got a 10-mile-an-hour speed limit in here, so you have to kind of watch that. Just about to get 20 miles on it. Battery hasn't come down in it yet. I'm wondering how far that'll go. They say 80, and I thought surely not, but it might. Oh, there's the old red Ford and our fifth wheel.